speak with you a moment? There is a matter with which I would beg your aid.
Of course, what is it?
Please, not so loud.
Something serious then?
Yes. I think we might have company. I was passing by the low gate when I saw a figure moving among the trees up on the cloak. At first, I thought it must have been you or your brother, so I didn't say anything, but the more I think about it, the more certain I am that the figure looked familiar.
And you're sure it wasn't one of the other villagers?
Positive. I think it was someone from outside the wall who has found his way inside. Of course, it could just be my imagination playing tricks on me. I only caught a fleeting glimpse, and it might have been you or your brother. But if it is who I think it is, we cannot allow him to leave now that he knows we're here. Would you go and see? He won't try to hurt you, believe me. Given what lurks in the forest, the only one likely to get hurt is him.
Very well. Whether the man you saw is who you believe him to be or not, we need to know. It may yet be someone else entirely. Someone who means your people, or my people, harm.
Perhaps. Just promise me that if you do find someone up there...
Don't worry. I won't draw my sword unless I need to.
Thank you.
A bottle. Breath of the arbor. Perfume from Sunbrag. Looks expensive too.
Who's there? Stop! No! No! Hang on! I'm coming!
Don't eat me! I'll give you gut rot, I swear!
Stand back. I'll handle this. Are you all right?
I'm more than all right. I'm saved! Oh, I could kiss you!
Maybe you should introduce yourself first.
Hervey! I knew it was you! What are you doing here?
I came to see you. Oh, my little canary, it's been so long.
Thank you for saving him and sparing him.
Who is he?
Hervey, one of many clients from my employment beyond the wall.
One of many clients? We spoke every night of our plans together. Whispered songs of love into each other's ears. And then you upped and vanished without so much as a word.
I left you a note, didn't I? I told you I was sorry, but that we could never be together. That I could never abandon my family. And I told you not to look for me. How did you even find this place, anyway?
The flame of your love was as a beacon in the night that guided me to you.
Hervé.
I was walking by the coast near Northreach when I saw a lady who looked like you. Eyes like the ocean. Hair like the driven snow. The next moment, she and her companions were jumping in a skiff and sailing out towards the wave. So I, borrowed the nearest boat and started rowing.
It must have been Shula bringing us here. So what? You rowed, found a nose how many leagues across the bay, simply because you saw a woman with white hair.
And as I did, the skies changed from a dull and hopeless grey to a bright and benevolent blue. That was when I knew for certain that my little canary was close.
Oh, why did you come? You should have forgotten me, as I tried to forget you. I cannot leave my people, Hervé. And now that you know about this place, neither can you. We must return to Haven and accept my family's judgment.
I'm to meet your family. Oh, my little canary.
Please, come and see me later. You did as I asked, and you must be rewarded for it. But first, follow me, Hervé.
To the end of the world and beyond.
To think we were being followed. It's just lucky it was by someone harmless. At least, I think it was.
Forgive me.
There's nothing to forgive. You two met at the Vale, I take it.
When I worked there, yes. To earn the coin that my people need to survive. Though Mysidia is our sanctuary, there are certain necessities that it cannot provide. And for that reason, some of us seek employment beyond the wall. Yet few are the opportunities for followers of a strange faith in a strange land.
And so you supported your family as best you could.
I did. And I have never regretted it for a moment. I found a second family in the Vale. And in the Dame, a second mother. I also found Hervé. But our love could never be. I knew that if I revealed my secret to him, I would be putting my people in danger. But that if I did not, I would be living a lie, unable to return home.
What will happen to him now?
Since our people settled in Mysidia, uninvited visitors have been few and far between, but not unknown. Explorers, survivors of shipwrecks, none lasted long.
I see.
But the last was long ago. Hervé's fate is in Shula's hands now. I only hope that she can be convinced to spare him.
Well, I haven't known Shula long. I don't believe she'd sacrifice a man's life if there were any alternative.
No, she wouldn't. Come what may, I thank you, my lord, for all you've done. For both of us.
I have news. I think I might have found a way to break Talor's curse.
Go on.
Well, after listening to the village elders and scouring every likely-looking tome in the library, I learned that not all Tombries are the same little green menaces we know and loathe. Apparently, a chosen few live to incredible ages and grow to many times the size of their counterparts. The folktales hold that it's the very eldest of these, the Tombury kings, who weave the curses, and that their magics bind their victims to them, that they might continue to feed on their pain.
So if we slay the one that cast the curse, the feeding will cease.
But that was my thinking, yes. Though I doubt it'll be easy. These kings are not just bigger, they're stronger too. And if the tales are true, their followers will defend them to the death. It is a perilous proposition, in short, but it may also be Talor's only hope. What say you?
I'll do it. Even if killing this king doesn't break the curse, Mysidia will be a safer place for its removal.
Thank you.
So then, where will I find it?
That, alas, I do not know. It must have woven the curse at the altar in Father's Fell, but as to where it is now...
Fanet, you were the one asking about Tonburies, right? Because there's a whole bloody army of them out on the cloak.
What? But why would they stray so far? And why now?
There's only one way to find out. I'll head up the mountain and see what's going on.
Right. Thank you. And please, be careful.
Found her. They're almost at the gate. But they won't be coming any closer. That should buy Haven some time at least.
Clive, are you all right?
Fine. We've taken care of the immediate threat.
Thank the tides. I was worried I was going to lose you both. Talor, he took a sudden turn for the worse just after you left.
What? Is he?
No, he's hanging on. I fear the Tombury king may have begun the cursing ritual again. In earnest this time. And I can't imagine their being here as a coincidence. I think it might be happening on this very mountain.
If it is, it won't be for long. Get back to Talor. I'm going up.
My thanks. I shall pray for both of you.
More of them. Come on then. I crave an audience with your king. Another group. They don't look very regal.
Farewell. It's over. It's over.
Still no sign of the king. Could Ksenord have been wrong?
There's dozens of them. The king must be close.
Well, that's a lot of Tombres. Looks like that's the last of them. Out here, anyway. But beastmen do like dark places. Well, I'll be damned. A crown. Sorry, Your Majesty, but your reign ends here. It's done. Which means the curse should be broken. Let's see how Talor's doing.
Clive! Is it done then?
It is. I was going to ask if there had been any change in Talor's condition, but judging by that smile on your face, I think I already know the answer.
You do? Talor! He's back!
Thank you, my lord. I can never repay you for everything you've done for me. I owe you my life.
I'm just glad the curse is lifted. There is one thing I'd like to know, though. If you don't mind my asking. What made you seek the Tombury's help in the first place?
Oh, that, well, you deserve to know. It was years ago now, back in my trading days. The Sons of Greek arrested me in Oriflamme, chained me up in a lightless cell with a great sword hung over my head, ready to fall if I didn't confess. Though they never said to what. I didn't, of course. So eventually they just let me go. And I never told a soul. Tried to forget it ever happened. But then you came along and the sight of your sword brought it all flooding back. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't hardly breathe, and I thought that if I gave my old chain to the Tomburys, maybe they could take all that pain away. All that anger. But it only made it worse.
Oriflamme has fallen. And the men who tortured you likely fell with it.
If only I'd known, I might have spared everyone a lot of trouble. I'd convinced myself that you were like them, that all outsiders were the same, but you're not. Far from it. Thank you, son. Thank you.
Clive, there's something I need to tell you. After we parted ways on the path to the cloak, I went straight back to Talor and explained to him what you were doing on his behalf. And just like that, his pain began to fade.
What do you mean? Just like that? The Tombury King would have still been alive. I had to contend with dozens of his minions before I found him.
Then perhaps one of them warned him of your coming and he broke off his ritual. Or perhaps knowing that an outsider was fighting for him was what lifted the weight from Talor's heart. I know from experience that many illnesses are not wholly physical, but of the spirit, at least in part.
Was there ever really a curse then? Or was Talor simply suffering from the pain of his memories? And the guilt of what he'd done? For all the difference it makes. I suppose we'll never know.
Maybe not. But this much I do know. It was your strength and your selflessness that healed his heart in the end.
I'll be sure to tell my healer friend when I get home.
You wouldn't happen to have some time on your hands, would you, Clive? Only I was wondering if you might help me with something else.
Don't tell me. Another unruly dominant.
Not quite, but a dangerous foe nonetheless. It promises to be quite a hunt. Care to join me?
All right. Tell me about our quarry.
A fiendish, cold-blooded beast known as a Givra. Normally, we leave such animals well alone, and for good reason. But I have an even better reason to want its tongue.
Its tongue.
If you'll permit me, tributary, I can explain.
Certainly, Yamila.
It's been over a week since me sister gave birth to her first child, yet she still isn't back on her feet. We've tried everything to restore her spirits. Physics and nostrums, the laying on of hands and of leeches, but all to no avail. The healers tell me there's only one hope left. A broth as potent as its ingredients are perilous to procure.
It isn't only Yamila's sister who stands to benefit from this, by the way. There's her baby to think of. And Walyas, too. She'd agreed to be his wet nurse, you see.
I'd be glad to help.
Thank you. Our hunters have no shortage of skill, but this task calls for more than that. And it won't be achieved through weight of numbers either. The Givra is as wary a foe as it is a deadly one. 2 hunters might catch it unawares, but any more than that, and it would pick up our scent a league away.
Then it is decided. The 2 of you will go, while Jill and I occupy ourselves here.
Perhaps we might help prepare the broth.
That would be most kind of you.
Come then, Clive. The river of time flows fast, and so must we. There's a Givra that has claimed the ruins at the foot of the mountain as its hunting ground. But as I say, they are wary creatures. We'll need suitable bait to draw it out. The flesh of a forest ibex should suffice.
To the forest, then.
There's nothing a Givra loves more than a fat haunch of ibex.
There speaks the voice of experience. Do you hunt often?
Since I was a girl, my father would take me. Then after he returned to the sea, Yamila's father. Our families have always been close. Even if her sister wasn't Walyas's wet nurse, I couldn't stand by and watch her suffer.
Faster! Where will we find them?
Further in. These will do nicely.
You're finished.
Return to the sea, and to the clouds rise again.
We have our bait, then. What next?
Next, we pay a visit to the Dark Gate to pick some local weed. It'll help disguise our scent. There should be a sprig or 2 of local weed growing somewhere around here. Look for the golden leaves.
Is this it?
Aye, that's the stuff. Crush the leaves between your fingertips and rub them on your clothes.
If you insist. You could have warned me about the smell.
Like corruption, isn't it? We'll have an honor guard of flies before long. But it'll stop the Givra from noticing us. Its nose will tell it we're nothing but a feast for worms.
Oh, I feel so much better.
We can wash it off afterwards. If there's one good thing about the Givra choosing the ruins for its hunting ground, it's that there's plenty of fresh water nearby.
Where should we lay the bait?
Givras are creatures of habit. Look for some sign of its passing. It's sure to return to the same place sooner or later.
Marking its territory.
Something was. A curl, maybe.
Is that beast? Seems like it isn't only Haven's blacksmith that has an appetite for these things. Tracks. But I assume they're too small to belong to a Givra.
You're right. They're barely big enough to belong to a Givra's breakfast.
A fresh kill.
But not a Givra's. The wounds are too clean, too small.
These look like a predator's tracks. You can clearly make out the claws.
But not just any claws. These belong to a Givra. There's no mistaking them. We'll lay the bait here.
Let's hope our friend is hungry. Still no sign.
Patience, Clive. Hunting's not something you can rush.
Have you stalked these beasts before?
Once. Geevers are fast, so the job called for a bearer. But even with my knack, it was a close-run thing.
Not many leaders would take such risks for their people.
Says the man who battled an icon to save a boy he barely knew. It is the way of the moats of water to use what gifts we've been given for the good of all. And I gather it's your way too.
It was Sid, the man whose name I bear. He fought for his people and their future with every fiber of his being. And I'm just following in his footsteps. In many ways, you remind me of him.
Me? You're confusing daring with desperation. Quiet. Something's coming. Our guest has finally arrived.
Shall we greet him?
It'd be rude not to.
Don't let it escape.
You weren't exaggerating when you said they were dangerous.
They're forces of nature, all right. And with this one's passing, the river of life has calmed. O roaring torrent, son of storms, may your spirit run free in the open ocean. This flesh I claim, that your gifts might rain down upon us this day, and our river flow in spate once more. Well then, let's return to the village. We must get this tongue to Ymilla before it spoils.
Tributary, my lord. Did all proceed as planned?
It did. Here. 1 Geaver tongue, as promised.
Oh, thank you. I shall add it to the broth at once. By your leave, tributary.
If there is anything else that we can do to help, you need only ask.
No, no. You've already done more for my family than I can ever repay.
Just as you have, Clive, for my family. I only regret that I have nothing to offer you in return but my gratitude.
It's more than enough. Besides, I'm no less grateful to you.
For what?
For welcoming my friends and I into your midst. For showing us how your people live. For reminding me that the world we strive to create, where bearers can live alongside their fellow men in peace and comfort, is no mere fantasy.
I'd hardly call it comfort. Every day is a struggle. Though we do at least struggle together, it's true.
As must we all. I only ask that you remember the cost of using your gifts as a bearer. I know that you feel it's your duty to do whatever you can to help your people. But you have a child to think about now. And Wallis has lost enough.
I shall bear that in mind.
That's all I ask. Oh, and if there is anything else that we can do to help, well, you know.
Thank you. Truly. No, it has to be him.
What has to be who? If you, don't mind my asking.
It's not your asking, I mind. It's my explaining. But I don't see any other way around it. You see, when a baby is born here, we hold a ceremony to welcome them. The rite of immersion, we call it. But I don't know whether Wallis was ever afforded that courtesy. What is abundantly clear, though, is that my ancestors never welcomed him as one of us. And I want to change that. The problem is, the ceremony requires 3 ministrators, the baby's parents and a witness. As tributary, the role of witness would normally fall to me, but being Wallis's closest living relative, I must play the role of mother.
So you want me to serve as witness in your stead?
That's right. A witness must be a trusty guardian, ready to steer the child through the stormy waters of life and on to tranquility. Which is why I thought of you.
It would be my honor.
Thank you, Clive.
So, if you will serve as mother and I as witness, who will take on the father's role?
I have a younger brother. He should be making ready for the rite as we speak, though whether he is or not. Let me introduce you.
Please do. If he's anything like his sister, I'm sure we'll get on famously.
I'll bid him come to the Witten Hall. Will you wait for us there?
Gladly.
It is good to have him back.
Clive, my brother.
If it isn't my old mate Sid!
You?
So you do remember me, even stripped of my cunning disguise? I'm touched.
You two know each other.
My friends and I crossed paths with your brother on our hunt for the dusk crystals, during which we saved his life. 3 times, was it?
3, 4, who's counting? All I know is when Shula mentioned she'd called in Sid the Outlaw to help young Walyas, I could be sure that the little rascal was in safe hands. I mean, having seen you in action back at the tower, I know exactly what you're capable of.
So the mercenary you met in the Sage Spire, that was Clive. And he saved your life? That's a rather different story from the one you told me. And a far likelier one at that. It would appear my family owe you twice over. Whether they admit it or not. Honestly, Fammy, would it kill you to tell the truth once in a while?
What? I said sorry, didn't I? How about we save the, recriminations until after the ceremony, eh?
Speaking of which, what does this ceremony involve exactly?
It's simple, really. We each say a short prayer and anoint the child's head with holy water.
Nothing too onerous then.
Not about the rite itself, no. But it does call for some preparation. One of the witness's responsibilities is to collect the holy water, you see. 3 phials for the 3 ministrators, each taken from a particular place. Don't worry, though. It's not as if you have to go alone. I can show you the way.
I'd appreciate that.
Famiel, you stay here and ready the Witten Hall.
Leave it to me.
If there's anything Jill and I can do to assist you.
We'd be glad to help.
Thank you both. All right then, let's get started, shall we? There are 3 types of holy water that we must collect. The water of the mountain, of the river, and of the sea. We take the water of the mountain from the spring atop Maiden's March. The water of the river from the course that flows through the ruins of Riversmeet. And the water of the sea from the shallows of Tailwind Bay. Here are the phials we'll be using in the ceremony. I'm ready to leave whenever you are. We can collect the water of the river from here.
All right.
The water of the river represents life. It is constantly moving, constantly changing. And though its course may twist and turn or branch into 1,000 separate streams, it always flows in the same direction, from source to sea, beginning to end.
Like time. What of Walius then? When your ancestors froze him, did they remove him from the River of Life?
They did. Like an ice-bound pool that didn't thaw for 80 summers. But now he's free to flow again, to live. And you and I shall flow with him, for we are all but drops of water in the great river of life.
I find that thought oddly reassuring.
Go on.
A drop of water might seem insignificant on its own, but as a part of a torrent, it can cleave a path through the hardest rock. It makes me believe we humans might just stand a chance.
I believe we might. Take care not to spill it.
Right. Let's save that for the ceremony.
This path leads down to the coast. Usually we keep this gate shut tight, but since this is a special occasion... Thank the tides the weather held. This place can be treacherous when the waves are high. If it weren't for the holy water, no one would ever come down here.
I'll be sure to watch my step.
Water flows to the sea, then rises into the clouds. Just like life, the end is not the end, only a new beginning. My ancestors chose this place because it was where the first boat landed.
And it's a good thing they didn't land closer to the surge.
Quite.
The water of the sea. I still can't help but be awed by it.
Oh? All that wave ever made me feel was pity and sorrow for the innocent life trapped inside it. The child my great-grandfather sacrificed to try to change his people's fate. It was wrong, an unforgivable sin. But I often wonder, will my descendants ever forgive me for what I have done? As tributary, I've faced many difficult choices. And though I've always striven to do what's best for my people, here we live in poverty, hidden away from the world. So have my choices denied them a better life, just as my ancestors denied Walyas his?
No. You would not forcibly sacrifice one of your people to save the others. You do the best you can for all of them, as do I. We share in their woes, just as we share in their joys. And the most we can do is try to bring them more of the latter.
Aye, you're right. And try I shall, to bring all of my people a better tomorrow. Walyas included.
Then I wish you luck. If my time with the boy is any indication, he's going to be quite a handful.
Then we must start as we mean to go on, and give him the very best welcome we can. Just one more file to go then.
Nearly done.
Stay back! I'm warning you!
Someone's in trouble. Come on.
Help! Help? What help? Nobody's coming to... Help?
We're here to help. Keep its attention on us. Is anyone hurt?
Oh, Sid! Thank all the clouds in the heavens you came. You saved us. Again!
Would you two care to explain what you're doing up here?
The chief sent us to fetch incense for the ceremony. So the Witten Hall smells nice. For the little Ben.
You mean to tell me you braved this den of deadly beasts for some tree sap?
You don't have to do everything he says, you know.
Or if you must, at least have the good sense to ask one of our hunters to accompany you.
We're sorry.
It's fine. Just go back to the village before you get yourselves into any more trouble.
Right you are.
Oh, and thanks and that.
Remind me to give my brother a cuff round the ear when we get back. Right then. Let's collect this water, shall we? The rain that falls on the mountain emerges here in these springs.
The source of the river. The source of life.
Precisely.
Where to next, then?
Back to the village to find out if my brother has made the necessary preparations. Or got his lackeys to do it for him.
We have the holy water. Is everything else in place?
All ready to go. Told you could count on me.
Then let us begin. Famiel, have your men summon everyone to the Witten Hall.
Right you are.
Shula, wait. I don't know the words.
Don't worry, there aren't many of them. We'll have time enough to practice before people arrive. My friends, we are gathered here today to welcome this child into our community by the rite of immersion, as has been our custom since the first reign. As tributary, I would normally perform the rite with the child's parents, but Walius's mother and father returned to the sea long ago. So I and my brother Famiel shall serve as his family, while the one who returned him to us shall bear witness in my stead. Clive, if you would step forward.
Like the rain that falls on the mountains tall, are we born.
Like the river that flows through the valleys below, do we live.
Like the boundless sea, where the currents run free, do we die, and to the clouds then rise again.
The circle of water is the circle of life. And today, from the heavens falls rain anew. This child, Walius, now joins our stream, and he shall flow with us, from the mountains to the sea. You played your part to a T, Clive. Thank you. It means a lot to us.
I was honored to be asked, and terrified I'd miss.
Now that you're part of the family, young Walyas, my lad. Uncle Famiel can teach you the ways of the world.
Oh no, he can't.
Eh?
Don't be so hasty. Your brother's knack for self-preservation might serve him well.
Ha! You are never going to let me live that down, are you?
I'm gonna raise Walius as if he were my own. Teach him everything I know about life, our people, and our past. But with all the mother crystals gone, he will grow up in a world without comforts. One where we only have ourselves and each other to rely on.
I'd say your people are better prepared than most to survive in such a world, Shula. To thrive, indeed, under your guidance.
Only if nature continues to smile on us. If we were to lose her gifts, we'd be left with nothing at all.
Yes. But it needn't come to that. Not if we can stop the spread of the Blight. So long as we can save a single patch of soil, we can plant the seeds for a new world. One where we can all be free.
Perhaps then we might finally be able to step out from behind our curtain, eh? Till that day comes, I wish you good tide.
Thank you. We should be on our way.
Well, you be careful out there.
Aye, you steer clear of trouble now.
Likewise.
To think, we must be the first outsiders to have witnessed that rite in over a century.
Wallius has been waiting for it for nearly as long. He seemed pleased to be finally rejoining the family.
Now all we have to do is save that family. To change our river's course.
Новая надежда. Клайв, я пишу эти строки, сидя в приемном зале, под гобеленом образа, из которого давно является мне во снах. Снаружи мило воркует Мэнде, осыпает округу проклятиями, звенящими ударами молот и повод, шепчется на ветру дары старейшины. В целом, так мы здесь и жили до твоего прибытия. Есть лишь одно отличие, лежащий рядом сверток, из которого доносится радостное бормотание. Отличие крохотное, но изменившее все. Когда наши предки совершили свою величайшую ошибку, во времени застыл не только Вальяс, заклятием, наложенным в тот день, на 80 лет оказались скованные сами частицы воды. Мы не могли искупить прошлые проступки и продолжить путь, но теперь обрели свободу, вслед за Вальясом. Племя будет снова жить по своим правилам, считать жизнь каждого равной и одинаково ценной. Ты преподнес этот дар нам и сможешь преподнести его всему миру. Поверь в себя так же, как и я. Мы верим в тебя. Шула. Вывеска Хевена. Эмблема Хевена – тайного поселения частиц воды. Узор из пересекающихся линий олицетворяет и чешуйки великого змея Левиафана и рябь на поверхности бесконечного потока, символизирующего круговорот жизни без конца и начала. Оба этих образа наконец слились воедино, так как Вальяс обрел свободу. Талисман первого дождя. Из-за схожести с флагами такие причудливые талисманы ручной работы часто называют знаменами. Считается, что они символизируют путешествие по реке жизни, от первого дождя до возвращения в море. Этот образец изготовили для ритуала погружения в Вальяса. Джилла всем сердцем желала, чтобы путь ребенка был безмятежным, пока вода спокойна. Ну что ж, время подвести итоги в целом, наверное. По поводу финала самой игры. Очень грустная история про героя, который все время страдал, в конце стало еще хуже. Понимаю, что он пожертвовал собой ради спасения мира, но можно было сделать финал менее жестоким. Конечно, разработчики оставляют вопрос открытым по поводу, жив ли Клайв и Джошуа, так как кто-то из них написал книгу о своих похождениях с нюансами, которые знали лишь они. Мое предположение, почему Джошуа не выжил. Если вспомнить момент с антиоживлением матери Росфилдов, Джошуа сказал, что даже Феникс не умеет воскрешать мертвых. Почему Клайв не выжил? В финальной сцене, когда Клайв был с окаменелыми пальцами, если присмотреться, через несколько секунд у него не пальцы были каменные, а вся кисть руки. Значит, проклятие начало его забирать, и причем очень быстро. Просто бедная Джилл. Ее так жаль, если честно. Очень сложно было смотреть этот финал, но кто-то из них должен был выжить, потому что книга тому подтверждение. Вопросов много, ответов мало. Я бы хотел ошибаться и верить, что оба брата живы. По поводу DLC «Отголоски павших». Я, наверное, раз 100 перезапускал эту игру, потому что эти руины павших жутко лагают, и я не понимаю почему. Пока не перезапустишь игру, будет все в фризах. Просто отвратительная оптимизация. Чтобы вы понимали, у меня на момент записи была 3070 видеокарта. Тут, видимо, нужна не меньше 4000 серии. Но это дико. Я не понимаю, почему такая странная оптимизация. По поводу сюжета, он... Ну, не знаю, он средний, вот серьезно, он средний. А вот финальный бой просто огонь. И музыка там классная, и Омега, который айкон в этой части, просто шикарный. Ну и немного хочу выразить свое мнение по поводу DLC «Растущая волна». Очень красивые локации. После пурпурных небес в основном видеть нормальное небо — это просто наслаждение. Достаточно неплохой сюжет сделали, на удивление, по сравнению с предыдущим DLC. Но баланс Левиафана оставляет желать лучшего. Это просто хардкор какой-то. Правда, возможно, я сам в этом виноват, потому что я ближе к концу игры решил устроить себе челлендж, что не буду юзать банки вообще. Любая тычка Левиафана отбирает чуть ли не 25%. Я его прошел, наверное, раза с 10-го. Особенно на фазе, где ему надо пробивать купол. Там ДПС-чек должен быть просто идеальным. Но в целом мне понравилось. Даже с учетом, что я настрадался с этим боссом Левиафаном, мне понравилось. Отличная игра. Не РПГ, конечно, как заявляли сквары, но очень даже неплохая. Спасибо всем, кто смотрел. Надеюсь, это было интересно. Я старался не озвучивать эту игру, потому что, она смотрится как аниме, если честно. Я не вижу смысла что-то говорить в ней. Озвучил только некоторые фрагменты и все. Возможно, в будущем буду также поступать. Но это не точно. Посмотрим. Всем пока и увидимся в следующих прохождениях.